Good morning, my students, and welcome to your English class. Now, before we start, a little reminder. Don't forget to practice the Halloween song, to remember the lyrics and the dance steps. Okay, it's very important because it's almost time. So don't forget that. Now, let's start with the class. Now, remember that we started seeing animals of the sea. Remember, we already saw animals, farm animals, animals that live in the farm, animals of the zoo, and right now we are concentrating on animals of the sea. Animals of the sea that live in the water or under the water. Okay, remember, sea it's a place that is all covered in water. Okay, very good. Now, also, besides the animal, we started with a new number. Do you remember what number we started seeing? What number was it? Number 7. Excellent. But before we continue with the number 7, let's have a review of the previous numbers, starting with the number 1, which is the soldier. Number 2, which is the duck. Number 3, which is the snake. Number 4, which is the chair upside down. Number 5, which is the number with the big stomach, with the big belly. Number 6 is the cherry, which is a small fruit. And number 7, which is the sleepy number, the lazy number. Okay, don't forget that. So let's start. Now, today we're going to continue with animals or objects of the sea. So the animal of the day is the shark. And as the alligator, do you remember that yesterday we started with the alligator? Well, the shark is also very dangerous, okay? Because sharks eat people. So we have to be careful whenever we go to the sea, whenever we go swimming, we have to be careful and always look and be alert of sharks, okay? We have to be very careful with sharks. Now, we have to count how many sharks appear here on the whiteboard so we can learn what's the number that appears on top of it, okay? Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There are 7 sharks. So the number that appears on top of it, number 7. Now, these activities, my children, they appear on your textbook right here. The first activity about the sharks, and the second activity, which I will explain a little bit later. So right now, we're focusing on the sharks. Now, as the dolphins, which is an animal that also we saw it yesterday, the sharks as the dolphins are color gray. But if you don't want to use the pencil, which is color gray, if you want to use a lot of colors or several colors, there is no problem. If you want to use color blue, you can use it. It's also very helpful for painting the sharks. In my case, the teachers will use color blue, okay? But if you want to use green, purple, or other color, there is no problem. Now, while you are painting the sharks, don't forget to repeat the name so you don't forget it. Let's start. Sharks. Sharks are animals of the sea. Sharks are color gray or color blue. Sharks. Sharks are animals of the sea. Sharks are gray and blue. Sharks. Sharks are animals of the sea. Sharks are color gray and color blue. Sharks are animals of the sea. And sharks are gray and blue. Very good. We have finished painting the sharks. Let's continue with the number 7. Again, for the number 7, you can use any color that you want. In my case, I am going to use color red. Color red for the sharks, okay? Once you have it, let's start painting, and don't forget to repeat the name of the number. Number 7. Number 7. Excellent. Now let's continue with the third part of the activity, which is the most important. For this part, remember we have the invisible numbers, so we have to make them visible by joining the dots, uniendo los puntitos, tracing the number, okay? Let's start. Remember to grab it properly. 3 fingers, thumb, index, middle finger to create a triangle so you can grab it correctly. Let's start. Number 7. Number 7. Number 7. Okay, very good. We have finishing the first activity about the sharks and the number 7. Let's continue with the second activity. Now here, my children, we don't have animal of the sea, but we have an object that appears on the sea. Now, the name of this object, my children, it is called a ship. Okay, this is called a ship. And ships, they sail, navegan, they sail, they float in the water. Okay, so that's why we have it here in objects of the sea, because it drives in the sea. Okay, it floats, it sails in the sea. So right here we have the ship, but we don't have numbers that appear here except on the top. So what we have to do, the activity consists in drawing, or if you want to paste, pegar, stars, you can paste them, or if you want to try and draw them, you can also try it. We have to draw or paste 7 stars, because right now we are at night. So we have to draw 7 stars. The teacher is going to draw them. In your house, you can ask for help to your mother or to your parents, so to your mother or to your father, so they can help you drawing the stars. Okay? Very good. Now, I am going to draw them, but you have to help the teacher to count. Okay? So I don't make more or make less stars. Let's commence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 stars. So the number that appears on top of it, it's number 7. Now for the stars, we can use color yellow. The teacher will use color yellow. Don't forget to have your pencil case next to you so you can locate it. Once you have it located, you pick it up and commence painting the stars with color yellow. Stars. Stars are color yellow. Stars. Stars are color yellow. Stars. Stars are color yellow. Very good. Now that we have finishing the stars, let's continue with the number 7. For the number 7, I am going to use color orange. Orange for the number 7. Number 7. Number 7. Okay? And we have to also paint the ship, which is also very important for the activity. Now, for the ship, we can use a lot of colors, okay? In my case, I am going to use color brown and color purple for the ship. Color brown and color purple. For color brown, I'm going to paint the lowest part, the bottom part of the ship, la parte más baja. The lowest part of the ship with color brown. and the sails, which are this part of the ship, I'm going to paint them with color purple. Okay, and that's my ship. Very good. Okay, again, I use color brown and color purple. But if you want to use more colors or different colors, you can use them. There is no problem. Now, the third part of the activity is to trace the number 7, which is the most important part of the activity. So, for this, remember to grab your pencil correctly and start tracing. Very good. Number 7. Number 7. Okay? You in your daily book you have more number 7. Okay? It's very important that you trace them all. In my case, I only have 3, so it was a little bit easier for me. But in your case, you have to work a little bit harder. Okay? Now, that's it for today, my children. But before we go, let's review animals, objects of the sea, and the number of today. Let's start. This animal of the sea is called a shark. And as I mentioned it before, we have to be a little bit careful with the shark because it's a dangerous animal, okay? So we have to stay a little bit far from the shark. In this case, let's count the sharks to see what's the number that appears here. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the number that appears here on top of it, number 7. Excellent. It's very good. I'm very happy with the results. Let's continue with the second activity, which is the ship. Now remember, a ship, it's an object that appears on the sea. Okay, it floats, it sails. Okay, navega. Very good. Now, next to the ship, we have several stars. Let's count the stars to see what's the number that appears here. Let's commence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the number that appears on top of it is number 7. Excellent. I'm very happy because you pay attention today. Okay? You are very, very, very smart, very intelligent students. Okay? That's it for today, my children. We'll see you tomorrow with new videos, new activities, new objects, and new animals. Take care. Don't forget that the teacher loves you very much. Goodbye.